Recently, news of the passing of British painter David Hockney has prompted tributes from the global art community. Hockney was one of the most prominent representatives of British pop art. But what exactly is pop art, and why has it become such an important movement in modern art history? What is pop art? Pop art is an art movement inspired by popular culture. Artists associated with the movement incorporated familiar images from comic books, advertisements, and magazines into their work. Pop art emerged during the 1950s and 1960s, a period when economic growth after World War II led to the rapid spread of mass production and mass consumption. Rather than turning away from these developments, artists embraced them, transforming the symbols of modern life into subjects worthy of artistic attention. Why did pop art emerge? To understand the rise of pop art, it is helpful to first look at the broader history of modern art. For centuries, artists were expected to represent the world with as much accuracy as possible. That expectation began to shift after the invention of photography in the 19th century, as cameras could capture reality with a level of precision that painting no longer needed to match. As a result, artists began exploring concepts beyond visible reality, such as light, emotion, color, and the unconscious mind. Artistic movements such as Impressionism, which sought to capture light and atmosphere, and Abstract Expressionism, which emphasized emotional and abstract expression, emerged from this shift. However, as these artistic experiments continued, modern art became increasingly complex and difficult for the general public to understand. As modern art became increasingly experimental, the distance between artists and the general public began to grow. Abstract Expressionism, the dominant movement before the rise of pop art, placed strong emphasis on personal emotion and frequently resulted in highly abstract works. Critics argued that this direction had made modern art increasingly exclusive, leaving many ordinary viewers feeling disconnected from it. Pop art emerged as a response to this situation. Its artists argued that art did not have to be difficult to be meaningful, and that subjects closely connected to everyday life could also serve as valuable artistic themes. Where did pop art begin? Pop art originated in the United Kingdom during the 1950s. After World War II, American movies, advertisements, and magazines flooded into Britain. Young British artists observed the rapid spread of consumer society and often used their work to critique it. In the United States, however, pop art developed in a somewhat different way. During the economic boom of the 1950s and 1960s, mass production and consumerism became part of everyday life. American pop artists embraced consumer culture and made it the central theme of their work, creating art that was familiar and accessible to ordinary people. In essence, British pop art often took a critical and sometimes ironic view of consumer society, whereas American pop art was more inclined to embrace popular culture. When the movement first emerged, some critics questioned whether images taken from advertising and comic books could legitimately be regarded as art. Today, however, pop art is widely recognized for expanding artistic subject matter and helping to make modern art more approachable for the general public.